Hi, everybody. This assignment has two major purposes. Number one, I want you to have experience with video conference calls where you're sharing the screen. And I really want you to take control here and organize this part of the assignment. So you're going to pretend that you're, the boss or the manager, and I am calling and I need help or advice from you. So that means you need to schedule this entire video conference. You need to pick the software. You can use Zoom, you can use Microsoft Teams, you can use Google has their own video conference software with screen sharing abilities. So you choose the software, you contact me, ask me to download the software that you want to use. You're going to book a time with me for this call. You're going to send me a link professionally in an email so that all I have to do is click that link and join the meeting with you. So you're going to need to practice this and make sure that it's working smoothly. You can even practice a call with me if you want before you make the official call. I'm happy to do that with you. But we want to make sure the software is working well, that your audio is working well, and you know how to share your screens. You're going to want to practice all of that. So the second part of this assignment is all about cultures, okay? We need to learn about other cultures in a professional setting or a work world setting. We need to learn about those cultures really, really quickly. So I want to give you two websites where you can learn about other cultures very fast. So in the first part of the video conference call, after you call me, I'm going to give you a culture beforehand. I'll give you the culture beforehand so you can prepare, but I'm going to ask you about 5 questions from this first link that you see here. So these questions are going to focus on the culture. I'm going to ask you probably a basic question like, maybe what language do they speak there? So let's say Greece, or I'll use Greece as an example. What language do they speak there? So you'd say Greek. And maybe I might ask a question if there's something unique about how the society is structured. So 2 fast questions about that. If there's something interesting about the societal structure, but then I'm going to focus on food. Is there dining etiquette or interesting things about the food or gift giving, if there's certain gifts I should give or not give. So I'll ask advice. Can you give me some advice about giving gifts to somebody from Greece? And you would share with me that information. Then I'll ask for sure about business meeting stuff. What do I need to know about having a business meeting, negotiating in that business meeting? Is there certain outfit or clothes that I should wear or avoid? So I'm going to ask about those work world interaction questions for sure. Meeting somebody for the first time, that's another great question. What do I need to know about meeting somebody for the first time? Do I shake hands? Do I make eye contact? Do I not? Do men and women, interact? And all of those questions, those are good questions that I will ask, okay? So the second part is going to be a comparison between Canada and Greece, for example. So at this point, you will start sharing your screen. So up to that point, we were just having a face-to-face conversation, and now you'll share your screen. And on that screen, you'll have the second link ready to go with the graph. So I'll show you how to do it. You'll click the link and you'll type in Canada. That's the host country. That's where our meeting is taking place, is in Canada. So you'll pull up the Canada chart and then you'll type in the culture that I give you. So in this example, we're going to use Greece. So at this point, the screen is being shared. I can see your graph and you start to explain it. And you're only going to explain the first 4 areas. Power distance, individualism, masculinity, and uncertainty avoidance. And so you'll begin by sharing the numbers. So you'll say, okay, Brian, the first one is power distance here. And you'll tell me really quickly what it means. Power distance is the distance between groups of people within the country. Power distance, it can be based on money. Maybe there's a rich group and a poor group, or it could be political. Maybe certain groups have the right to vote and other groups don't. Or it could be military. It could be a military or a strong group and a weaker group. So if you look at the numbers, Canada has a 39. That means everybody in Canada is fairly equal. There might be a little bit of a difference, but it's not very significant. But in Greece, the number is 60, so you would say yes, there's more of a gap in Greece between the classes or between the groups of people. And it could be financial or military. You don't have to get into details about why the gap is there, but just that there is a gap, okay? They have a number of 60, which means there's more of a gap between those people compared to Canada. The next one is individualism. Individualism can simply be explained by me versus we. Some countries are me countries and other countries are we countries. Me countries, like Canada, has a score of 80. That's a me country. They celebrate the individual. It's my money, my bank account, my education, my career, my little tight family, my little empire. So it's a very individualistic nation. And then other nations like Greece has a 35 score. That means they are a we country where they care more about the group, collective, the family, and they celebrate that. Things are shared there. So you'd explain it that way. You'd say Greece has a 35, so they care more about the group or the family. Okay, the next one is masculinity. Masculinity is not the difference between male and female roles. Masculinity is all about drive and push for success. So some countries that have a high masculinity score, you would say they care about economic success and power and growth. And other countries that have a low score, you would say this country is more feminine, where they care about more nurturing, where they might concern themselves with environmental care, education, and health care over power and success and growth. The last one is uncertainty avoidance. So this one, some countries do not like change. They don't want to try things that are new. They want to keep things the way that it's always been. So if you have a high score, like Greece has a score of 100, they want to avoid uncertainty. That's why it's called uncertainty avoidance. They don't want to change. They want to keep things the way they've always kept them. And if a country has a lower score, like Canada has a 48, Canada is more willing to accept change and uncertainty. So that's how you would explain that last one. So you simply explain those four, and then I say thank you, and then I'll give you the mark for your video call, and then you're done. So please let me know if you got questions. I'm happy to test things out ahead of time, but I'm really looking forward to these calls. I think it's a good experience that you might run into in the work world. Talk to you soon.